I think he do. That's just me though. Thank you to our Viler patrons, Redwolf4765, Midnight Gemlord, and Sean. Also, I'd like to thank our $3 members, Recliner Plays and Redwolf4765. And a very big thank you to our $25 patron, Alex Ice Rose. Now, we have this breakdown / discussion on whether or not Danny Lucius of Black Clover could solo literally the entire Clover Kingdom with 2 hands tied behind his back. Please don't leave your almost on whether or not Daddy Lucius can solo in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification so this out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon below. Each one as low as $1. Cut them on down month. Exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? All up here, and here we are to talk about how Daddy Lucius may or may not be able to solo the entire Clover Kingdom. And kind of the verse, mainly the verse, sort of the verse, probably the verse. So here's the thing, right? After seeing the nasty, disgusting, diabolical, atrocious, most diabolical speed blitz this side of the Mississippi happened to Jack by a random paladin. Morgan is definitely not a random, but still, like, we had no context for Morgan's actual previous base strength before he got the paladin amp, so presumably it's just a paladin amp goes crazy. But with that being the case, and Morgan casually perception blitzing Jack and catching everybody off guard realistically, I was really wondering, with Daddy Lucius being so mighty, so powerful, so girthy if you will, could he like legit just manhandle the whole verse? Like, if he himself were to just appear and say, you know what, forget it, I'm done with everything, I'm just gonna attack y'all all by myself, do I think he could solo the verse? There's one character who will bring up in a bit, and you know who it is, but I'm gonna ban this character from discussion at first, and we're gonna talk about everybody else, because I think he kind of can. And here's the thing, right? We gotta realize, the only character we've ever seen press an incomplete Lucius, note, a Lucius before he absorbed the powers of his 3 siblings, so he could literally just create people, a Lucius like that, he was only contested by the one character I'm banning, which was Asta, who wasn't in True to You. I'll give you that. He was not in True to You, but that is the only character who was remotely able to press him. But even then, go reread that fight. It looks like Lucius kind of just transformed to flex on Asta. Like, Asta does no damage to him before he transforms. Lucius just seemed like he kind of wanted to flex a little bit. And then he proceeded to take his bare hand and put it through Asta's chest. And then bada bing, bada boom, Asta lost. And Asta couldn't even perceive him. Like, legitimately, Asta got perception blitzed, like Jack got perception blitzed by Morgan. Look at it. Lucius does not take any damage in base at all. And then he proceeds to transform on Asta to flex and slice him in half. Well, not slice him in half, but at least put his bare hand across Asta's chest and then leave a massive gash there. And notably, this is an Asta after a year of training with an extended, concentrated, stronger, denser DU. And even he could do nothing against base Lucius, could not land a singular hit. And you gotta realize that one tap move that he did against Asta would have GG'd anybody else. They would have immediately turned into one of his servants. So put Asta out of the equation and put Julius, his evil half, against the rest of the verse, and I think he kind of just wins. Like, remember, this isn't just Lucius we're talking about. We're talking about Lucius amped by 100% of the power of Lucci, someone who at 50% was out here bullying the entire cast, including a full power DU Asta a year ago. And then he got the other half of that and ate both of them. Put that on top of his base state, on top of his transformation, which is the equivalent of a DU, and then he purifies it, which makes it even stronger. Who's really beating him? Like, who's really putting up a fight? Even people who have, like, very specific hacks. That's one of the biggest thing about the Black Cloververse. It's full of dumb, stupid bubblegum hacks. But we gotta realize, Lucci, or Lucius, Daddy Lucius, he has the best hacks. Like, Time magic in the hands of Julius was considered not unstoppable. Now we have Lucius, who not only has access to time magic, not only has access to the raw strength, power, speed, and durability of the full power Demon King, but top that off with the fact that he also now has the powers of all 3 of his siblings on top of his soul magic. He can now manipulate your blood, body, and bone all at once. He can likely spawn all their abilities at the same time. So you can literally cannot get close to him, or else you're going to get impaled by a bone or drowned in that blood. Or you're going to have to deal with an even buffer variation of Lucius if he decides to bulk up just a little bit, get his gangs up a little bit. And that's if you don't get either locked in chronostasis immediately, which is going to happen to a majority of the verse. Like legitimately, a lot of the verse is either going to get slapped with an immediate chronostasis, and or he's just going to age them all to death. Like, legitimately, he's just going to steal all their time and they will shrivel up instantaneously. Because no one outside of Asta has a counter to that. If a single person gets grazed by any of Lucius' spells, it's over. It's legitimately over. And they're going to do more than get grazed. They're going to get Perception Blitz. If a post-year of training Asta simply could not react to an incomplete Lucius trying to slice his chest in half, or could not react to Lucius getting close enough to lay a finger on his dome piece, then I'm sorry, a single other character isn't doing it. The only character who's remotely fast enough or has shown feats remotely comparable to that is Star Magic Yuno. And who knows, after a year of training, maybe Star Magic Yuno's way more cracked than I'm giving him credit for. Once again, we gotta remember where Star Magic Yuno was struggling, where he was fighting last year. Bro was struggling like in Xenon with a demon heart. That's where he was struggling with. Lucius is like Xenon times 4. Without absorbing Xenon. And then he absorbs Xenon. And Vanica. And Dante. And also like literally like all of Lucci. Like the whole Lucci. Like not a piece, not a quarter, not half, not 75%, like all of Lucci. Like legitimately, I just don't know. I don't know. Like, can Yuno really get that much stronger over a year? And that's if he just doesn't get Perception Blitz. Like, once again, we gotta realize a base Lucius has access to the speed and power of Lucci. 100% of Lucci. Legitimately, a base Lucius pre-completion could probably run around and take out a solid 99% of the verse. Do you remember what they were doing to Lucci? Oh, right, nothing. And remember how much Lucci that was? Like, let's do some quick mathematics. Half. And they were struggling with half of Lucci. Sure, it has been a year. There's definitely been a time skip power up. You know, it's always be like that when it be like that sometimes, especially when it be like that. But I don't think it's that much like that. I don't think it's that much. Once again, if these paladins are going to come in and give any trouble to our cast, like at all, if they're going to come in and really prove to be threatening in the slightest, you can't tell me that Danny Lucius, the leader of the paladins, would absolutely annihilate them. I don't think a base Lucius would struggle to beat any of his paladins. I don't think he would. I think he would absolutely annihilate all of them. Then he can transform. And like legitimately Lucius, unironically, next to Asta, who just says Asta's hacks are literally, you don't get to have your hacks. That's all of Asta's hacks. You don't have hacks. Lucius has the best kit in the entire verse right now. Like legitimately, how could you make Lucius's kit better other than giving him like spatial magic? Because he has time magic, which will wipe you out of existence on sheer contact. It'll literally age you out of existence, which essentially gives you spatial magic. He can pretty much teleport anywhere with either raw speed or just the ability. Like, we literally see him teleport in over a magical barrier casually. He just spawns in, which he can do on repeat. We've never seen him have a limit to that. 3, he has all of Dante's abilities. 4, he has all of Vanica's abilities. 5, he has all of Xenon's abilities. And who knows, considering the fact that he's the one who went through, once again, ran an entire crusade throughout the entire underworld, he could probably just swap out whichever demon he's associated with. He could probably just cycle through him like he's a Kingdom Hearts 3 character, just switch it through form changes and stuff like that. So if he does need spatial magic for some reason, he can probably summon Buggy Boy. Buggy Boy's not in Lily anymore, so he can probably just pop that on real quick. Bada bing, bada boom, he got spatial magic. Heck, he doesn't need to give spatial or whatever Lucci Fugi has to do with Morgan. Doesn't need that either. Could casually body back. Like, I just don't see anyone in the verse putting up a proper fight against Lucius right now. Not even Asta. Like, I know that's crazy, but even Asta, after his training, now that Lucius has gotten an even fatter amp, an even juicier amp, an even girthier amp. If Asta's already out here only getting an AP buff, which is all I see. I don't think he's gotten a durability buff or anything like that. It's not like Z10 has amped his durability. If Lucius is out here in his incomplete transcended state, casually one-shotting Asta to the point where he can't move after getting his chest sliced, then what do you want Asta to do against a full power Lucci? Or Lucius. I keep getting Lucci and Lucius confused because they're so similar. But still, what do you want Asta to do? What do you want Yuno to do? What do you want Yami to do? Jack, Charlotte, anybody. And even Dorothy. Like, I don't see any character, one, touching Lucius. Like, I think he literally just moves around and speed blitz and annihilates the entire verse, for one. Two, I don't see any of them damaging Lucius, because once again, this guy should be as durable, at a bare minimum, as durable as 50% Lucci. Realistically, more durable than 100% Lucci, so none of them should be able to damage him. Even if they do damage him, he has Dante's magic, meaning he can immediately regenerate his body, and even if they can try to do something like that, he should have access to all the abilities of the underworld, which should include some healing, some cursing, a little something in between. He has the bone magic to create immediate external AoE damage no matter what. It's probably all jacked up to 1,000,000 because once again he has the raw magical power of like, bro is just broken. He's legitimately so broken, I don't know how Tabata is going to take him out. We have run into the Madara problem again. We have run into the Sukuna problem again. I have no idea how Tabata is actually planning to take this man out. Like, legitimately, even with the great, beautiful, legendary jumping strats of Black Clover. We don't talk about it as much. Juju jumping is pretty much in the name of Jujutsu Kaisen, but like, in Black Clover, they jump a lot of people too. It's just a necessity. Look at what they did to Lucci. But still, even jumping Lucius, I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be expected to do, considering people can literally get taken out in a flash. Before they can perceive them, they're literally wiped from existence because they were aged out of existence. No remains, they're just gone. Or, worse comes to worse, he could just make more. He could just turn more people into enemies. Remember, all he did was tap Lily's head and she became infused with an underworld creature and then was one of the strongest characters we've ever seen. What if he just taps Yami? Up, GG. What if he just taps Nacht? Up, GG. What if he just taps anybody? Up, GG. Imagine he gets Leona on his side by just tapping her. Once again, these are one taps. The only character who has shown any immunity to this one tap ability is Asta because he's literally overflowing with anti-magic. That is the only character who has shown any immunity to that. So if Lucius were to run the ones against the verse, he could still just casually start one-tapping people, and then it's no longer even a 1v verse thing. If he even needs to do that, what stops Lucius from just freezing time on a macro scale, like he did when he was in base against Asta? Lucius literally froze everything. No one else has resistance to time magic except for Asta. That is it. So what is the verse meant to do if he just drops the time freezing spell before Asta can yank out his magic negation sword that'll stop the time freezing spell? Lucius blitzes over to him after transforming, tears him in half and losses him drop, and he just proceeds to 1v1 tap everybody and turn them into a whole army of paladins. I don't know. I don't see anyone in the verse. Like, even the only thing I could hypothetically see an argument for is like Vanessa's fate manipulation magic, but I think fate would get stopped by time. Like, legitimately, what is Vanessa's cat going to do? Like, legitimately, I think it's even, I forget 100%, but I think it was even stated that Lucci was so powerful that, like, Nessa's fate manipulation thing couldn't even do anything against it. And that was against 50% of Lucci. Lucius is like 50% Luccis in one. What do you want them to do? Like, legit, I don't know. Even collectively, like, unless Lucius stands there for the first minute and lets them all unload all over his face, like, all over his face, legitimately at the same time, I don't see anybody really winning Lucci or beating Lucius. I just think it's impossible. However, that's what I think. Please, what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure the notifications to miss out on every video second of the channel. Also, I do page down below. Use more as low as $1, kind of more, non-months, exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Nacht with the Pencil, writing off.